The lovely Kwyn.
And it's the lovely Myra J. And it's
Okay.
Sybil. Hi,
Yeah.
everybody. The lovely Stephen Hill is not with us today, but
Oh,
we will sally forth, as they say. I'm not sure who Sally is, but maybe we'll
Yeah.
Stephen forth
Okay.
without Stephen Hill. Hi, everybody. I'm Sybil Wilkes, and it's the girls today, Myra
yes.
J.
Yeah.
and Kwyn. How are you
Mhm.
both? Myra, how are you?
I'm doing well. I am. Thank you for asking.
You sound a little raspy. It's sexy, but you sound a little raspy-ish, a little
Well,
something in your throat.
I'm really trying to motivate Santa. Uh,
All right, Santa baby. All right. Okay, come on, Santa.
if it's
Okay.
working, Santa, if you're out there, is this working for you?
You
Okay.
know, as Yolanda and I are now in the process of accelerating our exercise routine, and we're walking every day, and we walk down her street today, and it says, "Santa, please stop here." Uh, one of the signs.
Yeah,
So,
please.
Santa, please stop at Myra J's house.
Please, please,
Okay,
Santa.
okay,
Okay.
Santa baby.
I'll,
Yeah.
I'll even turn off the fireplace.
All right, because it's a little warm. I don't know about where you guys are, but I know Quinn in Chicago, it
Yeah.
was it was quite warm. Myra
It's like
in it,
spring.
yeah, yeah, that's what everybody's saying.
Mhm.
Uh, People are out on the golf courses and everything else, from what I
Yeah.
understand. Myra,
Really?
how about you?
Yes.
The weather's here. It's getting warm. We had a warm spell. Then it got cold. Now it's
Hmm.
warming up again. But they're basically telling us don't let that 70-degree
Right,
fool you.
right,
Look at the
right.
calendar. Look at the
Yeah.
Yeah.
calendar. At, as they say in my Game of Thrones voice, winter is coming.
Okay. I like it.
Mhm.
All right. In her Game of Thrones voice, Myra, I asked how you are because we did talk about this last week with the loss of Mixmaster Mitch
Yes,
and
yes.
his passing as a result of his passing from pancreatic cancer, and his funeral was this week.
Yeah, yeah. The funeral, his homegoing services was yesterday here in Atlanta. A lot of love, lot of radio people. His high school class came out and represented well, as well as um, Jorge from the Wolf Pack came to
Oh
represent. Yes,
wow!
yes, yes. Um, Definitely a lot of Cox Media, Kiss 104, Classics, the last station he worked with, Nisi Shaw, his colleague there. Yeah, so it was a bit bittersweet thing because with COVID and everything, it was like a big radio reunion.
And
Yeah.
some of us tried to log on from various parts of the country. Not as successful at getting
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
getting it, but can I just give a word to people who are, trying to help us be a part of these ceremonies of life?
Yeah.
Um, Work on the camera angles and the audio.
Yeah, little bit from the cruise. And Eileen, she came by afterwards to a meeting. She said, "Well, apparently you and Jorge was sitting right." She said because I was like, "Okay, that's him, and that looks like Myra J's bun." She says because you were sitting right in front of the camera, and I was
And
like,
who knew? Who knew? When you sit down, you sit
"Right."
down.
Yeah.
Um, but in this day of Zoom funerals, if you will, or
Right.
video uh, funerals by video and audio, and especially for a radio person, you wanted the audio to be, because
Yep.
Mitch is going, hey, hey, fix
Hey,
that,
look, can I show his picture real quick
please,
and him on the
yeah,
thing?
yeah,
Can you
please.
guys see? Yeah, this is
Yeah.
our guy. Yeah, mix master. Uh, yeah, Gary Mitchell. We all knew him by his radio name, Mix Master. He was a big guy, big family, well loved, and so would
Mm-hmm.
truly be missed. He would do the Fantastic
The
Voyage.
void,
He
yeah.
absolutely loved that family reunion. Here he did something Wednesday Wind Down,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a big part of Flashback.
Right.
every
Yeah.
year.
And that was a big event with one of the local Atlanta stations.
Yeah,
And so
Kiss.
Kiss
Hmm.
104
Hmm.
that we were on for many years. So
Hmm.
just so for folks who recognize the name and may have met him or come across from the family reunion or from the Fantastic Voyage, as Myra
Hmm.
said, God bless you and God bless his
Yes.
family.
Rest in
Yeah, yeah,
peace.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
His wife
Mhm.
Ro and everybody. Our condolences to all of you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
All
Hmm.
right, young Kwyn, you're going through it. You're in the midst of, well, they're not finals, are they? But you're getting your final papers in.
Yes, I have one final assignment to turn in tonight. I'm gonna just say, F it and turn it in tonight. I don't care if it's a B, I don't care if it's an A, but she will see that I submitted it, and so then we're finished. But white people pissed me off today.
Okay.
Um,
All right. Well, let's move to that then. So let's start talking topical. Let's talk about what's in the news and what's going
yeah.
on in your world. So, Kwyn, how did the white people tick you off this week?
Let me actually clarify. Turns out she wasn't actually white. This is a foreign language professor.
Okay.
And I brought on my friend. You guys know that I'm here at Western advising student organizations. And so one student organization, they've been demanding that we have an African American Studies department back here at Western. And so
Mm-hmm.
that has pretty much having us go in circles, talking to the provost, talking to the vice president of student services, talking to all these people. And so we had a meeting with the faculty senate today. And so I'm on the call,
The
in my call.
faculty, you're speaking very quickly. The
Oh
faculty
yes, sorry, the
senate.
Chicago
That's a
came out.
that's
Yes, because I'm about to say woo wop the band, but yes, the faculty senate. So the comprising union that represents all full time staff here at
Mhm.
Western, which of course the genetic makeup of that is majority white or at least like non black. So I'm in the car. I have a 2021 Kia Soul. I'm on car in Zoom, and I'm muting, unmute. And I know my internet's going out, and I say, I apologize. I'm driving, but I just want to make sure I show up for Shakira. This professor, she unmutes and she's like, Kwyn, it is illegal to drive your car and be on the phone. Do you know that you're doing something legal? I said, ma'am, this is a 2021 car. I'm using something hands free. Relax. This has nothing to do with the meeting at hand. And she's like, man, she's like, I don't understand how you can be on the phone. That's distracting. You can have people in your car. You call accident. I said, why are you talking to me like this? You're not my mom. Like,
You didn't go. You not my mama. You
Did she
went.
just freeze in that
Yeah.
position?
But and you not my mama, woman. And I don't think she said woman in that.
oh,
Did
okay.
you?
Sorry, my internet went out. Um, but yes, she never. It was just something completely random. And when I speak about microaggressions, especially when it comes to like professors or people that are older, oftentimes like they really want to talk down at me, and it's almost just like you do not seem to see me as something eye to eye. And we were on this call because Shakira is asking for the removal of a board member by the name of Polly Radish. Said some, gaslighting comments to her at a board meeting, and we were asking for their support. And their response was, oh, well, Shakira, do you know what a board does? Oh, Shakira, do you
Oh,
know
come
what the
on.
removal process is? Kwyn, you shouldn't be on the phone while driving. And no. It's
Yeah.
like, just answer the question. Are y'all going to
Right.
support us or not?
Right.
So I'm over white people today. I'm over it. Just
Well,
getting my degree.
at a PWI, I don't know how over them you can be
Yeah,
before May of 2022
I
when they give
know.
you your degree, give you your
That's why
master's.
Black
So
History Month, people going to see me in all black every day, all day. All day, every day. With the Black Panther fit, just straight up, just because this is what makes militant, like radical black people. When you keep pushing them, pushing them, pushing them, it's like,
yeah.
okay,
And then you
what
hit
is
that
this?
point, you hit that
Hmm.
mark where you're like, I'm done with you, and I'm ready
Yeah.
to, bring the fist and the militant look to it.
And the
Um,
fire.
and the fire.
Yes.
Speaking of bringing the fire, I want to bring attention to the loss of the beloved author,
Oh, look.
the professor, and the feminist Bell Hooks, the woman who gave us titles like "Ain't I a Woman" and "All About Love." She died today at the age of 69. Bell Hooks' family confirmed her death, saying that she died Wednesday morning, and they confirmed that our sister, and this was her government name, Gloria Jean Watkins, also known as Bell Hooks, passed away at her home in Kentucky. Early morning hour today. She chose cremation, so a celebration of life service will be held at a later time. As I said, she was born Gloria Jean Watkins in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. and she went on to just be an incredible force within the literary world, within the world of feminism and the world of humanism, as her pseudonym Bell Hooks, a tribute to her great grandmother. That she chose to write using the lowercase letters, and it was Bell Hooks in lowercase letters all the way through, to focus attention on her words rather than herself, which I absolutely loved. I absolutely loved. Don't get me started on the use of video as opposed to audio. Okay. So she did go to Stanford University, got her undergrad there, a master's from the University of Wisconsin at Madison, and her doctorate from the University of California at Santa Cruz. Would either of you like to, or both, make some comments or some words about Bell Hooks?
I am embarrassed to say that I can't specifically remember her works, but I do remember back when I was in school and in my younger days, how I would read things by Bell Hooks, and I would always feel so powerful. You know how you may read something by Nikki Giovanni or Sonia Sanchez or Dr. Maya Angelou, and you just feel like, yeah, dang it, yeah. But that's how she made me feel. So I was really saddened to hear about her sudden passing today.
Absolutely. A lot of folks, and you talk about Black women and racism, Ain't I a Woman, and All About Love, and how people were affected by this. And Kwyn, I know you as a young feminist and as a woman of words, this may have an effect on you as well.
Yeah, I was definitely trying not to cry. I was definitely heartbroken because I still remember when Maya Angelou passed, and even when I heard about Toni Morrison. And these are like pillars of literature for me, and like pillars of like Black feminism for me, that I have, a part of me feels as if I've taken for granted in terms of like not trying to see where I could either come to the next book signing or like the next time they speak. But the gift that they have given us, the world as a whole, is literally going to keep on giving, because even though Bell Hooks is not here, even though Toni Morrison is not here, even though Maya Angelou is not here, their words are still so accessible for the people. They literally get to live on forever. And so I wish that I could tell her thank you personally, but when I read All About Love, that really changed my entire life. And she was
Ain't
able
I
to
a Woman
verbalize
was that
something.
for me.
Yeah.
You know, so I understand. So, absolutely. The words live on.
Yeah.
They are not here physically, but they are with us through their words, through their works. And think about that. What an effect your words have. Even in the midst of a meeting with the board of trustees, Kwyn, thinking, no, and I'm not saying that you were wrong. I'm saying that I agree with what you did and how you stood up for your mentee. But I'm also looking in terms of the world of Karens and the world of all of those who are speaking against us and using their words, what an effect that has. But we also have to be mindful of how our words go out to the people, whether it's here on It's Sybil and streaming on radio or wherever, just in talking to each other, how the words do have a profound effect on our lives.
Yeah. Can I just quickly add a short story? I
love your short stories.
I'm a huge fan of Nikki Giovanni, and she was. I had the pleasure of traveling with her during this woman's empowerment tour several years ago. But about 3 years ago, she was invited to speak at a little private school close to me, and this was a little private girls' school. And I'm thinking to myself, they got Nikki Giovanni, and it's not a whole lot of this there. And I'm like, but that should be interesting. I'm going to go see that. And I go, and the head of the English department comes in, yes, and da 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 da, and he's doing her whole bio and everything.
Yeah.
And the head of our school is going to interview her now. And she walks in, and they say, please have a seat. And she walks straight to the podium and goes, let me just say this first, because y'all ain't gonna have me back here no way. And that's how she started. She stood there and talked for her 60 minutes and turned around. The president of the school was still seated. She turned around and said, now how was that? And that was her. People were like, and there was so many gasps and oohs and ahs. I'm practically doubled over on the floor laughing because I
love
knew
to
I
see
was
that.
like, no, you weren't going to ask her questions. Nikki came to say what she had to. Excuse me, Miss Giovanni came to say what she had to say,
Okay.
and that's what she did. And I'm talking about you're talking about just bring it and
Mhm.
powerful and literally she could have dropped mic and walked out the room. It was so powerful, but I
How
just
great is
thought it was
that?
so great. She didn't let the principal ask her one question.
Because the questions would have been just ridiculous
Yeah.
and based upon, some last minute research and reading that
Right,
somebody
right.
had done.
But
Um,
also, how are you as a black woman? No,
yeah,
no, no,
right.
no.
It's like, seriously? Are
Right,
you
right.
serious right
This
now?
is Nikki Giovanni.
But I just thought it was so powerful. She just came out and went da, da,
So
da, da,
Myra,
da,
let me
da.
ask you, did you have a chance to talk to her after?
Very, very well, of course, because she was swamped. But I
Sure.
did get a chance to, just say, say hello and remind her of the tour we did together and things. So that was nice.
I've
That
had
was
one
very nice.
opportunity to meet her too, and this was due to being admitted as a bell ringer for a women's college in North Carolina, and she too was a part of that. And
Mhm.
it was just an incredible opportunity to
Listen,
meet her.
the
And
next time y'all meet her, please invite me.
well, and here's the thing, Quinn, you just never know when these things are going to happen.
I
But I'll
Yeah.
know.
text you, and I'll maybe we can FaceTime each other, and I can
Right. At
say,
least I can be on the call like Nikki.
but here's something else. This is something that we should think about in the next year, and think about in terms of inviting the greats
Yeah.
to join us, if they would join us
Mhm.
and have conversations with us and with the people, because like I said, they are powerful. They mean a lot in our lives, and we do need to give people their roses when we can.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So let me talk to you
Absolutely.
quickly about one more thing. Um, and this is and not for comment, but I just want to inform people. Frustrated with President Biden and the congressional Democrats for failing to enact voting rights legislation, progressive advocacy groups and descendants of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, including his son, as well as his daughter, are planning to use the January holiday of Dr. Martin Luther King, commemorating his birthday, to call for more aggressive efforts to overcome Republican opposition. Two measures stalled on Capitol Hill, and so they are planning to pursue marches on January 15th. And this is obviously to spur action on these voting rights bills that are just still there. Thanks, or I should say, no thanks to folks like Joe Manchin, and Kirsten Sinema. And the planned marches are a lot of it is going to be on bridges. Which I think is a great symbolic move on their part. So we'll keep you up to date on that. I did want to mention that before we get too far in. Um,
Are you guys gonna go?
I hope to. I would hope to. Yeah.
We're gonna
As a
get
matter
some
of fact, Quinn, I
info.
would love for us to, to be able to broadcast from something
Yeah.
like that, and to talk about, what's going on in our country, because voting rights is absolutely what's important to me. All right, so let's talk about what's really going on, and this is a fun topic.
Oh,
And Myra J, I thought about you when I came up with this. So one of the
uh-oh.
recent days of the year, no, it's fun. It was
Okay.
National Play Outside Day. And I remember, like, in the last years of the Jordan Show, I used to always ask, because Tom and Jay would always say, or whoever was the comedian that day would always say all the things they had to do that day. And I said, don't forget to go and play outside, which is advice that I give to people, but I don't always follow it, to play outside. So let me ask you, what are, or what were, maybe still are, your favorite games to play outside?
Oh my gosh. Well, double Dutch, honey, double the Dutch. Okay. I love to jump double Dutch. I love hopscotch, hide and seek, and I do mean hide and seek, y'all. Nothing else.
Not hide
I'm
and
gonna
go
not go
get it.
get it. No, it was
Yeah.
just hide. It was just hide and seek. It was a much simpler time. We used to play a game called Rock Teacher. Do
Mm,
you remember Rock
mm-hmm.
Teacher? And
I do.
we had steps where we
Yeah,
lived,
we
and you
sit
would
on the
just yeah,
porches. Yeah.
and you just guessed, and that's how you went up to the next
Step.
grade. Yep. We played Pop the Whip. We played Red Rover. Yeah. I look. Now they saying we outside, y'all. No,
Right.
back then we stayed outside. Okay.
Right.
I love being outside.
Right. And I'm with you. And Kwyn, I don't know about you in terms of, because I know your mom, as we've had our discussions about your mom. I know that she kept you guys, busy.
Yeah.
Did you have a lot of playing outside time?
Yeah, I still was a part of school. I think it actually still is required now. When like recess and like there was mandatory time allotted for us to be outside. So I do remember playing like double dutch, like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 25,
40.
like, I remember playing Red Rover a lot and just tag, but I really love red light, green light.
Yeah.
And I think there was another game where like somebody would turn around and you have to hurry up and run, and when they turn back around, like they have to freeze. But I don't know, remember the name of that game. But I like those type of games.
Freeze tag.
Like,
that's what we call freeze tag.
When it was like one person that was standing and everybody was against the back, and they had to count. Oh, okay.
They turn around and you freeze.
That was my idea.
I thought that was red light, green light, but I
don't know. That's why I was like, I get them confused.
But well, maybe in my block, or maybe.
And like boom boom.
Oh yeah.
And boom boom boom. And shame. I could play hand games all day.
Shame.
And Sweet Little League with 4 people.
Simon said yes. Brian
Simon says. Brian on Facebook.
2 steps forward. Yep.
Yeah.
What about Simon Says? Did you guys ever play that?
I feel like with my friends we did not.
Simon Says, and then you say, and move to, and it's like, Simon didn't say it. You gotta move back.
Right.
Okay. I think I did on my season.
So some of my favorites were Foursquare. Did you ever play Foursquare?
Oh yeah, with the ball. You had to bounce it inside if the box outside. Yeah.
You had the box, a square, and each box had 4 boxes within it.
Where was this game played outside?
It was played across the street at Wacker School for me.
Oh, Skinner, we had the blacktop. So
yeah, I mean, well, it was actually someone had drawn the boundaries of the game.
Oh, y'all had chalk, fancy.
Myra, if you didn't have chalk, how did you play hopscotch?
With a rock. You took the rock and
you didn't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
That's how
7,
you
8,
drew it
9,
with
sky
a rock.
blue.
Sybil.
You drew it with a rock?
With a rock?
Yes, Kwyn. If you take a rock and you take it on concrete, you can draw with it. You can make the square and you can make sky blue and put the numbers in. The rock was your chalk. We didn't have to have chalk.
That's crazy.
I gotta tell you, Myra, we had chalk.
I know, because y'all was down on that end of town. We had rocks, okay? Our rocks were multi-purpose.
Well, they were. Joy Route on YouTube says you better ask someone about the rocks.
Thank you. We have rocks.
Oh, man.
Rosemary Smith on YouTube said you can draw with a rock.
Thank you.
You can draw with a rock. Yes, Myra.
Yes.
And Karen Vaughn said yes, we drew it with the rock also.
Thank you, Facebook and YouTube.
Well, Kwyn, I'm with you because
you never drew with rock, Sybil?
We had chalk.
Well, maybe when I got in high school or something, but no, we had rock.
And maybe my mother brought chalk home from the Chicago public schools.
I'm gonna tell you right now, your mama was a saint, but she was a 5-finger discount saint. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, your mama was lifting from the Chicago public schools. That's why y'all had a bunch of chalk.
It might be, although she paid a lot into that school system, buying stuff for the kids. But definitely, she might have brought home a chalk sticker too. I'm just saying. You're right.
I love it when we all learn something, and now you learn. See what everybody learned today. You can draw with the rock. So if you're ever stranded out in the middle of an urban desert somewhere and you need help, you can get a rock. You don't need chalk, and you can write it on the concrete in big letters.
This sounds some type of pledging exercise. I would not do. I will be damned. I will be so screwed. I'll be like, what you say, big sister? They're like, draw. And I'll be like, okay.
And so let us you consider us as your big sisters
Yes.
in the life of pledging. And so CM Williams says hot peas and butter. I have no idea on Facebook what
We
CM
doing
Williams is
recipes
talking
now.
about.
I don't.
Hot peas.
What is hot
Okay.
peas and butter?
So CM, if you can message us back and tell us what hot peas and butter, or if somebody else can tell us. I have no idea what hot peas and butter.
I do not have no idea.
Yeah, flag football in the
Oh,
street.
flag football.
Yep, Roderick Cook says that on YouTube.
Right,
Flag football in the street.
Flag football.
I'm trying to think of what we used to call it at Morgan Park. It was something else, and we would, actually it was just an opportunity, I think, of boys and girls to feel up on each other as you're running the football around the field. And you
touch football.
It wasn't touch. It was something else.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sure it was.
It was like 7th, 8th grade. So it was like, okay, I'll, and then you toss it to somebody else by the time they've gotten their feel off.
And this is when the girls' bras were shaped like missiles anyway. And they were.
I definitely still have a couple of those bras.
Yes, remember they were real pointy.
She got them from Madonna's closet.
Yes. Right, exactly.
I felt protected, though. I felt protected.
You were. Trust me, you were.
So we played Jack sitting on the porch. Vayella Williams. Yes. Jack's on the front porch. Absolutely. Bat and ball. And musical chairs. Absolutely.
Yes. And we also played kick football, but we played it in an intersection that had like a sewer on each corner, and those were our bases. And if a car was coming, that was an automatic timeout, because all you yelled was car, because the car was coming. Yeah. So that's that street life. You know what I'm saying?
Lucky.
Listen, I know about street life just because I didn't drop no rocks now. Don't make me take my CTA bus card out. I'll show you reduced fare car pass. Okay.
But we rode the CTA before there were bus cards. So let me just
What? How did you get on the bus?
We paid pennies and dimes and quarters to get on the CTA.
Yeah.
How much was it?
It was. I want to say, God, I'm getting ready to date myself. I think it was 10 cents, and it was 12 cents with the transfer. Yeah.
With a transfer.
Yeah.
Now, I don't remember it being quite that low, but I do remember it, and you had to pay the extra for the transfer. I do remember that.
Those are I'm talking about.
and Kwyn, get this, and this is for Chicago folks. This was before the CTA train ran all the way to 95th Street.
Where did it stop?
I don't even think that it was.
There was no Dan Ryan. I want to say the beat train went down 63rd, and the other one was like 47th or something.
Yeah, 47th, and then you take the Halsted Street down, or you would take Michigan Avenue or one of those buses to get to.
I was gonna say my aunt did teach me jacks over Thanksgiving break. She can play that game.
Oh,
very smooth.
And remember bat and ball, Myra?
I have. Oh, you should have told me. I literally 3 years ago, I just had a small gathering for my birthday. I had 10 women come, and I got old school game. I bought jacks and bat and balls and hula hoops.
Oh yeah,
but the whole thing was, before we started any games, you had to have two, at least two
drinks.
Which made just the games were more fun.
It's just fun.
No, yeah.
Kwyn, how high did you get up when you played jacks?
I think I got up to 4. I think I got up to only for like 4 jacks before, because you can't let the ball bounce twice.
Right.
And so honestly, I would say like 4.
Grab the jacks.
Yeah.
And then
my aunt could do all 10. She was like, do.
And that sounds like Myra.
No, my cousin Nisi, may she rest in peace. Nisi used to be. I could barely get out of my babies. She would be babies, scratchers, round the world, one-handers. She would just wipe me out. But I just love playing. I really did.
Judy Douglas asked, "Has anybody ever played marbles?"
Shooting marbles? Yeah.
So we didn't shoot marbles so much, because that seemed like the boys.
I had an older brother, so
yeah. So shooting marbles, bat and ball. Foursquare I mentioned, and we played piggy softball. Piggy 1, Piggy 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you play softball? 16-inch
Mm.
softball, Queen?
Oh, softball, yes. When you said piggy softball, I was like,
Yeah, so it was like you say, okay, let's play Piggy. It's like Piggy 1, and that was the person up to bat. Piggy
okay.
2 was I think was the catcher, and Piggy 3 was the
The
pitcher.
picture. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If
And
I
so
only was playing balls, it was just to get the boys' attention. I'm not good at sports. I'd be like, let me catch it. Let me kick it up. Like, whatever. And that was it. I was not playing sports for real. Or my friends and I were dancing in the corner. This is what it is.
well, there's room for that too. Dancing in the corner usually was a party in the basement.
Oh,
Old
man,
maids,
yeah.
Charlotte Bowen Bellamy says on Facebook, old maids love that.
Mhm.
And then of course, old maid and War. Did you guys play War?
Mhm.
War, definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
And
I
BS and space.
declare war. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now BS, I'm not familiar with.
When you lie and you say like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, I have 2 2s, and somebody says BS, and you have to pick up the whole deck in the middle based off everybody else's card.
Okay.
And what did BS stand for? Okay.
Bologna sandwiches.
There you go. There you go.
Y'all gonna catch me. You play back from my car.
Renita Bland said we played That's My Car, picking out our car as cars pass by when you're on the expressway,
On the
the
bus,
freeway, on
Did
the
you guys ever
on the
play
bus.
MASH, where it'd be like mansion, apartment, shelter house, and like you would write down your husband's, your car, your income, and then you would draw a little circle. Somebody had to choose a number, and then they would randomly get told a fortune of like what they would get.
So we played it with the game in the paper. You
Oh,
made
not the fortune teller, but the actual piece of paper
yeah.
MASH.
Oh
We
no,
did this.
I'm not familiar with MASH.
No, it's good. So basically, it's 4 letters. So MASH, and then you would ask somebody who they want to be your husband. So somebody will say Tay Diggs, Shamar Moore, Denzel Washington, Michael B. Jordan, and then what their ideal job is, what their income is, how many kids they want, what type of car, and then they would choose a number between like 1 through 10. Let's say they do 7, and every time you account from like husband to job to income, let's say you land on 7, you have to cross that out. So at the end, as a process of elimination, they have whatever type of results are left. So like, okay, after 7, you got to marry Michael B. Jordan. You got to be a doctor. You get $4 million a year. And then MASH would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you get like apartment or something. It was very cute. And
If
sometimes
it
we'll
were
play it with
only
ugly
that
clothes.
easy.
Okay. But we did do the fortune teller. I never actually learned how to fold one up, but I always did make the questions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and remember we played with a rope and string, and we would make
with our fingers,
the witch's hat and the Jacob's ladder and stuff like that. Just look,
and the little
rock and
bracelet.
string, yes, rock and string. Be outside.
How about rock and string?
Rock and string.
That's what Myra's bringing to our discussion today. Rock and
Use
string.
your imagination. You have the whole world.
Yeah, exactly. Or my daddy used to say, "Let's go play in traffic." And you go first. I'll follow you, little girl. Really?
I did run across. I don't know if you guys know the spot. Right off of 55th and Lakeshore Drive, like where that viaduct is. I did run across that one time in high school, and clearly I survived. So
you ran across
the traffic
just because,
like Lakeshore Drive.
It was
traffic?
a dare. Yes.
Oh just on a dare. All right. Well, I'm glad you made it, Queen. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
I am too. Because even as naive as I was as a child, I would not say that, oh yeah, let's run across 55th and Lakeshore Drive.
We all did it, the 4 of us. It was wild times.
And it had nothing to do with a sorority or anything.
No. This was just on some 15-year-old. It's a great day. I dare you to run across it. Bet. Okay.
Wow. God bless you.
Okay.
Well, we didn't find out about hot peas and butter.
But he never responded back, or they never responded back.
No, I don't know. I don't know if Yolanda saw that or not. But happy go outside and play day. I absolutely love that idea.
That was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and let's do more of that, especially on days like this where we are lucky enough to have some really good weather. And so we'll keep that in mind the next time. And include the young people and get them outside and play. And I know I sound like the old woman that I am, but away from the video games and get outside and get some fresh air. And so to Isis and Genesis and Jordan and Malachi and Daisy, let's go outside and play.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So now it's time for us to move to the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is, of course, is our Monday through Friday newsletter, and you can join us, be a part of the What You Need to Know news crew. Please email your name and your email address. Go to SybilWilkes.com, give us your information, and we'll have it in your email box, as my friend used to say, first thing in the morning, and it will be in your email box Monday through Friday morning with stories that do pertain to and do affect the African American community. And so let's start with young Kwyn. And you had a really interesting story and talking about what's going on in our world. What's the latest in Minneapolis to improve mental health wellness?
I thought this was some great news to hear actually in Minneapolis, as we know, where the murder of George Floyd actually occurred, that they have allotted money from their $6 million contract for the police department for actually unarmed behavioral health experts that will be dispatched in crises dealing with like mental health. And so there basically will be 2 mobile units that will operate throughout the city from 7:30 a.m. to midnight, Monday through Friday. And eventually the service will ramp up to 24 hours a day. And each vehicle will have a team of 2 behavioral health responders and outreach supplies such as water, snack, toiletries, socks, stuff of that nature. And the primary objective of the behavioral crisis response team is to reduce unnecessary hospitalization and criminalization of community members in crisis dealing with mental health. And something that I didn't even realize when I looked up different statistics from the National Alliance on Mental Health is that 1 in 5 U.S. adults experience mental illness each year. And suicide is actually the second leading cause of death among people age 10 through 34 years old.
Wait. Repeat that statistic.
Suicide is the second leading cause of death among people ages 10 through 34 years old.
My God.
And so more than 200,000 men and women who are currently incarcerated have been diagnosed with a severe mental illness, making jails and prisons the largest psychiatric hospital currently in our world. And 3 high functioning carceral facilities, the LA County Jail, Chicago's Cook County Jail, and Rikers Island in New York house more mentally ill patients than any hospital in the nation. And so this type of implementation, this type of intervention is something that's going to work against that, so we can decrease those statistics and actually get people the help that they need, instead of handcuffing them.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
This is really, I don't know about a lot of other cities, but I stay in touch with my hometown, with our hometown. And I know that Tom Dart, who is a part of the correctional center, he has done a lot in order to improve the situation for a lot of prisoners regarding the difference between those who are there for a mental health situation as opposed to a criminal situation. And I don't know that Chicago has that kind of now new program that Minneapolis is showing, but I do know that they are doing things in that regard, as well as advancing people for their careers, their lives after they get out of jail. But this is what it's all about. This is what we've been talking about.
And I think what really stuck out to me is that these people are unarmed. So they're coming to these crises without any guns, without any type of weapon, mainly to give them water, snacks, and to de-escalate. And so even when I was trying to, because I typed in like how many behavioral crisis teams are there in the U.S., like what are the different type of examples that we could also look at in comparison to other cities, I didn't see if Chicago had one. So as of now, this is something that I think is the first. They're setting a precedent for other police departments to step up, and they can, at least with their budget, they really can if they wanted to.
And think about this, you guys, and we talked about this, but ladies, we talked about the fact that what could have happened if they had had a crisis squad, a crew there to de-escalate the situation when George Floyd went into that grocery store and they called the police, and if someone had stepped in the place of Derek Chauvin. What a difference life would be today.
Yeah, even
But
yeah.
but I guess better late than never.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a
because
bittersweet type of thing.
It really is.
hmm
It really
hmm
is. I mean, you're looking at the good with the bad, and this resulting from a horrific situation. But good on Minneapolis for pursuing this
Yeah.
and doing this. And Quinn, is this a part of their effort to defund and to put more money into programs like this, or is this in addition to?
They said that it's more so in addition to, because this is using the budget that is allotted for police, and they're taking a chunk of that for behavioral crisis response. And
Mm-hmm.
they also partner with like Canopy Roots. And the woman, she said that this is like their pilot project. The
Mm-hmm.
program was built following feedback from residents about the need for community based support for residents experiencing behavioral health emergencies. And this is something they've been talking about since 2020. And so it's supposed to be implemented like this upcoming summer. So the fact they're able to do this like in a year's turnaround is just like, wow,
Right.
like, okay,
Right.
y'all are hearing the community, you know?
Okay,
hmm
and I think that if any place is going to happen, it would be like a city like
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis or
hmm
someplace
Mhm.
in maybe on the West Coast. I don't know. It doesn't sound like something that is more East Coast or Midwest friendly. But
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. And good on them. Good luck to
Yeah.
them.
hmm
I
Hmm.
really love that. I do want to talk about this story that we also had in the newsletter regarding the murder of Rodney Greene. Ronald Greene. I'm sorry. Ronald Greene was a young man who was killed by Louisiana state troopers, and they stated that his death was the result of his car smashing into a tree. His mother, Mona Hardin, is still pursuing charges against especially two of these Louisiana state troopers who were involved in what they described as the beatdown, the shackling, and the murder of her son. Ronald Greene was a 49-year-old man, was driving outside of Monroe, Louisiana. He was believed to have been driving along and was stopped by police. The police then, and especially two policemen who were two state troopers who were involved in his death with the dragging of the 49-year-old man, the beating, the stunning with their guns, stun guns, and the dragging of this 49-year-old man, and did not take responsibility for it. And what the man who was the captain or the officer of record in the highest ranking officer in this situation, he held, he secreted, he withheld evidence in terms of the video that was taken with their body cameras. He held this for 2 years
Mm.
before God bless the Associated Press for following through on Mona Hardin's request to find out what happened to her son. The damage that his body sustained as they looked at him at the coroner's office did not indicate that this man died as a result of a car smashing into a tree. And so the Associated Press pursued this, and they found not only did this one officer keep this video to himself, and but there were also levels of those within the Louisiana State Trooper Division that were enabling him to do this. And they have stopped the investigations of, or not even stopped them. They have prevented investigations for several Black people as a result. And so now they are before this state commission of legislators, and they are trying to get to the bottom of this case. And Mona Hardin, and her cry was, "What does it take to get answers?"
what did the coroner say was cause of death?
It was the stunning and the beating of this man.
Okay.
His injuries were that indicated that he was beaten to death and
Okay.
stunned. That caused him, I believe, to have a heart attack.
Oh my God.
Okay.
And suffocation because they had him face down on the ground for close to 10 minutes,
hmm
which is sounds like the George Floyd situation,
hmm
right? And so here's the thing, and I want you to think about this too, as Black women, and with the maternal instincts that we may have, whether we have children or not, pursuing this kind of justice if it weren't for Ahmaud Arbery's mother, if it
Mhm.
weren't for Breonna Taylor's mother, and if it weren't for Mona Hardin, the mother of Ronald Greene, where would justice be in the cases, and countless others?
Mhm.
I'm not even. I'm. These are just the first three off the top of my head. Where would justice be with these people?
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
just it boggles the mind, but God bless them, and I hope that she does get some justice. um
Yes.
and I know this is a story you're going to do, Kwyn, but this doesn't have to do with the maternal seeking justice, or a mother figure, but I look forward to your story that you're going to do on Anjanette Young,
Mhm.
in Chicago. This is a story that this just had an incredible effect on me,
Mhm.
when it first came out. But I do look for Black women seeking justice. And Anjanette Young is a woman. The police broke into her apartment wrongfully, looking for something else.
They followed a
And
bad tip,
yeah, yeah.
whatever that means.
And here's a social worker coming home
Mhm.
from work. She's changing her clothes, and when they broke in, she was completely naked, and they would not listen to her, saying, "You're in the wrong place," and they held her captive naked for however long it was. But if it was more than a second, it was too long.
And it was
Uh,
only men that came into her house.
right.
Mhm.
And finally, a woman
Mhm.
did extend, a blanket, and then they allowed her to go into her bedroom and change clothes and put clothes on. But I can't wait to read your story. So look forward to that in the What You Need to Know
Yeah, because
newsletter.
Lori withheld that video too.
And then there's that.
That's why I think it's so crazy. It's like the process to get justice is actually showing the injustice of people that are supposed to be serving the justice.
Right.
Like the
Mhm.
video should not have been withheld.
Right.
Somebody should face accountability for all these different murders and all these
Yep.
injustices. But we're being told to go this formal process, and y'all are actually not respecting the process you're supposed to be hired for to do. Like I'm confused.
And let's say that they dodged a bullet because the city council settled, or the city's law department settled on a price for Anjanette Young, which I think was ridiculously low
Yeah.
for the damage that they did. They got off. They dodged a bullet on that.
You
So
know,
And most
you
of it, like, oh, go ahead, Myra. I'm sorry.
you always feel vulnerable in those types of situations, but just think for a moment that you're being stopped or questioned unjustly by authorities, and you're naked.
Yeah.
You're naked. What
and
you know?
I
What?
don't know about any of you, but I gotta tell you, as a middle-aged Black woman, I'm standing naked. I don't. No, no, I don't. Shoot me. I'm going to put something on.
You know,
Okay.
when I lived in Altadena, my burglar alarm went off just as I was coming in the house. My brother had said it wrong, whatever. He was leaving. I'm coming in. I'm in the shower,
Mm.
and I hear this banging on the door, and I literally yell, "Who's that knocking on the door like you the effing police?" And they said, "Altadena Sheriff." And I'm like, "Oh, literally, I only have on a towel. That's
Okay.
it. Towel and maybe some fingernail polish. That was it." I went to the door. I'm correct. Yes, ma'am. We're responding to an alarm. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, no, no, it's me. My brother set it off. Da, 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 da. He said they called on your phone and no one answered. And I said, no, that's crazy. My phone didn't ring. Here, let me check it. And I'll never forget because I turned to read. This is my home phone,
Mhm.
and I'm closing the door, and I
Quinn,
can
this is when
still
we
see
used to
the,
have landlines.
yeah, yes, I had a landline. And this big black shoe, I can still see it. How he stuck his foot in the door and grabbed my door and said, "Don't close the door." And I'm like, "Oh shit, this about to get real." Because
This is
me, if nothing else, I
Jesus.
will go windmilling,
okay.
but I'm thinking my towel gonna fall off. I have no clothes on at
Yeah.
this point. But it
Yeah.
was one of those freak moments where my landline, what they had cut the line, they were doing some work. The landline wasn't working.
Wow.
So he was right to come to my home, but at that particular moment, I just remember thinking how vulnerable I felt because he wouldn't let me close my door to my own
It
house.
really could have gone left.
Amazing.
It could have
really
gone
could
real
have.
bad,
Yeah.
real fast. Yeah.
And imagine if your phone like wasn't there, or I don't know, if you didn't have your ID on you, or it's something
Well,
else
she
that
didn't.
naturally
She really
like
didn't have her ID on her.
he.
No, all I had
know.
was a towel on me.
I just can't
No, she
imagine.
opened it up and it's you,
You're
Myra.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah,
Myra.
that was
I've had that where I shut down my landline in my last home, and for whatever reason, the ghost calls kept going out to the local police department.
wow.
I canceled my phone service, and still the phone service kept and they were sending 911 calls to the police, and they kept coming and kept coming and
Wow.
kept coming. In the middle of the night, it would happen. And I had to get up at 3:00 in the morning, and they would be out there. I'd see the lights blaring into my home. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy.
Strange.
So it's really strange the way the police do handle these things. So, all right, ladies, I do one more thing I do want to mention. Our Kwyn Malone, social justice person as well, also talks about a Black woman who is the CEO and founder of Paralee Boyd, the first Black woman to franchise a national hair salon. A successful launch campaign focused on transcending the traditional salon experience. Her name is Dana White. Take a look at that story in the What You Need to Know newsletter as well. Getting us in, and she specializes in our curly hair and getting women, and check this out, getting them in and out of the salon in a
Now,
timely manner.
Okay.
So good on you, Dana White, and good on you, Coy, for giving us that story in the What You Need to Know newsletter. All right, let's move to entertainment, shall we? I brought this story because I thought about you, Myra, and this has to do with reality star Porsha Williams. She is from
love
the Real
her.
Housewives of Atlanta.
oh yeah. Okay.
Okay, so she is out on her national book tour,
Mhm.
and she was confronted by an activist for wearing fur. She said, "Animals are skinned alive, and please don't wear fur." Um,
Listen, good
we've
job.
had this discussion over the years, and that's what made me think about you, Myra. I don't know how many fur coats you own. I have one
Mhm.
that I got in Alaska years ago.
Mhm.
But I think I still at my mother's house. I think I still have some of hers there in storage. But can you? So first I thought it was a Karen, and I still was not able to decipher whether the person who did this was a Karen or not. But during a signing for her book, which is called The Pursuit of Porsha in West Hollywood, a woman decided to plead with her to stop wearing animal products as fashion. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to interrupt anything. I want to bring something to your attention that's very important. The Real Housewives support fur and wear fur. This is what the activist said. While she continued, and Portia's just there signing her books. She's just like, I don't have time for this. Myra, if someone had come and to a signing of Myra J's book or any of the other products that you have sold, what would you have done?
To talk about fur or just to interrupt me?
Both. Yeah.
Both.
I would smile and say kisses and
Mm.
nanu nanu, God be with you, my child. No,
God be with you, my child.
no, this is how I feel about it. I have a fur. I bought it years ago.
Mhm.
No, I have two. One was my mother's. I often told people that my fur was a Kevorkian fur. That these were.
What does that mean?
Not a Kevorkian. Oh, Myra, please.
Dr. Kevorkian was a doctor who was famous for assisted suicide, for people who were so ill that they just wanted to die, and so he had a system to help them transition into death. He was
And so,
Dr.
Myra-
Kevorkian. So I said
Myra
I had Kevorkian first. So these animals did not suffer.
Oh my God.
Duh. So, fight me. What? This was a Kevorkian fur. So so that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Now, am I big on furs now? No, I'm not, no. But would I hate somebody for doing it? No. No. It's your choice. You wear fur, you eat a hamburger. What?
you wear leather shoes.
Yeah, so teach its
Um,
own.
and you pay a lot for those leather shoes, may I add.
Mhm.
And so as the woman was escorted out of the bookstore, fans began to chant, "We love pho." We love pho. So and Kwyn, I don't know if you remember this, but they used to well, I don't know if they did it for black women so much, but they did it certainly for white women wearing fur, and they used to throw paint. PETA people
On their
used to throw
fur coats.
paint on them, and so
Did you see the bags that they posted that are made of like flesh? And they're like, look at these human leather bags. And I was like, oh my gosh, PETA, like we get
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
what else are we gonna do to stay warm?
When I
Right.
tell you, I used to sashay through O'Hare Airport, and once as I went to sit, because they used to have greeters in first class who would come and just talk BS before the flight went off, and they said, "I saw you get on with that beautiful fur. Weren't you afraid somebody was going to throw paint on it?" And I looked at her and I went, "On me? No, no, I was not afraid at all." Because when I hopped into court with my foot still up her, the lady just turned around and walked away. That's just what I said to the
Okay.
greeter, like, "No, I am not afraid."
And it's interesting because Porsha stands up for so much. Like she literally is an activist. So I don't
Yeah.
know like why
I thought it was very interesting too, but
you can't
But-
please everybody.
But
Exactly.
to me, people up north, Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia, New York, we grew up. If you had it, the thing was to get a fur because it kept you warm. I'm not going to buy a fur coat and live in Miami or Los Angeles.
Right.
Like,
I
duh.
was gonna ask what was she wearing that was fur? Like she had on a vest?
I think it was like a vest or something. She had on like a fur vest or something. All right, ladies, as we wrap this up, I do want to thank you so much for joining us and being a part of some pretty lively conversation today, and leave you with Yogi's Jewel. Align yourself with the peaceful vibration of the universe. Align yourself with the peaceful vibration of the universe. So inhale peace, exhale chaos. Nice. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And have a wonderful woosah, Myra.
Okay.
Have a
everybody.
wonderful day,
safe.
everybody.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Happy holidays.
Yes.